Good afternoon, traders. Today is April 11th, 2025. My name is John Kerrigan. I am the lead instructor at the BYOB Trading Room. All right, so what we've got here on the 10-minute chart is got a 10-minute uptrend right here. See this space? You got the 3 EMA is on top of the 8 EMA. All right, and that trend is up over VWAP. See, VWAP would be this brown line right here. So this is this gold line, that is the uptrend line. This gold line is the downtrend line. This is the 2025 anchored VWAP low right there. You can see we climbed on top of that and consolidated. So you can see here's price action. Now we have a 10-minute uptrend. So the 3 EMA, see the 3 EMA is yellow on top of the white 8 EMA right here, okay? And all three of those, the price action candles, the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA are all on top of this rising 17, which is designated as green dots right here. All right, so if price comes underneath those green dots, all right, they'll turn them to red. So as price is up and away from the 10-minute chart, so as price pulls away, I like to sell orders out into that. Now I bought this based on the MACD cross on the lower time frame. So you can see here's a MACD cross. See the 3 or the 2 EMA crosses over the 10. So you can come back here and you'll see right there, I saw the cross, so I bought 50 contracts. I actually had another 100, and then as price pulls away, I sell into the rallies. You can see the MACD getting higher and higher. That's a good sign. I like to watch the volume zone oscillator to make sure that continues to rise up over on the 2-minute. So as price moves up, I farm these out and ahead of price action on the 3. This is our flagship trade right here. This is what we trade, and I teach traders how to continually print profits by following. You got the MACD cross, and then you farm them out over at the end of these candles away from the 3 EMA. So I've got some more here, so I will farm some out. Last one to close was 41, so I'll sell one more at 41, and I'll farm some out at 42. All right, and 43, and 44, and I'll bring it all the way up to 50. So I'm simply playing a 10-minute uptrend that's been working since about the noon hour. As price pulls back, I like to reload. When price pulls away, I unload. So I got some at 41. So I'll put some out at 38. Put one out to sell at 38. And I'll put one out to sell at 40. All right, you can see the VZO, see the MACD still working. All right, so price action, got that 10-minute uptrend. And I'll buy one back here at 32. And I'll buy one at 30. Buy one at 34. So I'm now on a 2-minute time frame right here. This is a 2-minute time frame. And sell another one at 41. 42 got filled, so I'll farm another one out at 42. Sell one at 41 again. So you can see I just bought one right there for 34. So I'll sell one at 38. I'll load another one to buy at 34. So I'm currently trading these 540 calls that expire actually in about 60 minutes. All right, I try and farm them out right over here, right over my cost basis. You can see my cost basis is right at 18. So when I capture them, I try to get rid of them up here. And I'm looking for a rally into the close right up to 530, 537. We'll see how far we get with this. Vern, I like the Vern asked what options am I buying into the close. I like the 550 21 DTE calls. So I like these right here. I'll probably buy a couple of those. Market's bullish. You can see we got consolidation up over prior consolidation. That's a bullish environment. Here's prior consolidation. Now here's prior consolidation. Here's prior consolidation. So we got consolidation over prior consolidation. That's bullish. And then we got more consolidation over prior consolidation. We're up over this trend line. Do I expect a, pull back to the trend line? Yes. All right. But recently the market's been consolidating, move up, then consolidating, and then move up. So I'm bullish into next week. And Eric asks, back for a bit, are you trading back and forth on the candles? Yes, I am, Eric. I am trading back and forth on the candles right here, and I am on the 540 calls. Right here, 540 calls. That expire in 30 minutes. And you can see we're nowhere near 540, but they will continue to go up if price goes up. So if you wanted to see the profits that I made in the last 30 minutes while I was trading in front of you, all right, so I've been trading for the last 30 minutes, you would see all of the profits. Okay. You can see I came on, I bought those right there, and then I just started farming them out. So there's $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, 121, 141, 8, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, and it just keeps going up. 60, 70, 7, 5, 8, 10. So there's probably about $500 there just in the last 30 minutes that I've been trading in front of viewers for the video. All right. So late in the day, usually about 10 minutes before close, sometimes dark pools come in. No guarantee that it's going to happen today due to its options expiration. So occasionally you can get dark pools come in and just rally the price all the way up. So we're looking to see if we can catch one of those rallies that pushes price up over 537, maybe even 540. So the current value of this position that I'm holding right now, which is underwater, all right, but I've been making profits, as you can see right here, all right. I got 7,000 in profits on that one so far today. All right, but it's underwater by 203. It's 11 cents a share. So if you ever wanted to calculate what the value of that position is, you would simply take your calculator, all right, and you have 42 contracts. So that's 42 contracts. There's 100 shares for each contract. So times 100, all right, that's $4,200 shares, because 42 contracts, and you multiply that by the price per share, which is 11 cents. If you want to see the cost of that, you can see 11 cents a share. That's the entry. Okay, so contract, when it gives you a price, that's the price you will pay for share. So you just multiply that by 100. So that each contract there is $11. All right. So I'll take 4,200 times, and I got the cross up there, 0.11. So the current value of this position is $462. That's if it goes to zero. All right. That's if it goes to zero. All right. But if I get out before then, I won't lose $462. All right. If I can farm it out for a positive, that would be nice. We'll see what happens. I think if you don't have the money, not really. I think we're in an uptrend. I think the market's looking good right now. Back in a bit. Are you trading? Yes, Stelton. The aim at this point is not to be left with zero DTEs, so we keep adjusting the sell limit for a fill. That's right. Yes. Keep adjusting the sell so we can get a fill. And it looks like I'm not going to get filled. So I'm just going to go ahead and sell all these. And I have a long position that I want to go up against, so I will sell an equal amount up there of those. So I will sell 1340 was 42, is 1380. That's it. So I think I made like 6,560, and I lost on those $329 holding into the close. But I know for a fact I made a bunch of money right here. So that's it for the day. So I had a pretty good day. See what we got here for stats. You can see right there, realized gain was 26,000 for today. Not too bad for a day. And if you want to see everything that I traded, all right, it is right here. This is everything I traded for the day. So I traded 550 calls, I traded 560 calls, traded 540 calls, traded 500 puts, traded 550 calls, 21 days till expiration. Traded some NVIDIA, made some money on those calls, and add this to the inventory. And see if I can collect another one of these. All right, we're going to go ahead and start the market wrap up here. It's only 6 minutes left. So we'll see what happens here. You have bullish consolidation, over consolidation there. So let's go ahead and put up the plaque. Thanks, Jim. Thanks. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Fred. All right, today is April 11th, 2025. My name is John Kerrigan. I moderate the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. By the way, if you're watching this video, I have an open house. And my open house is Monday between 8 and 4:15. All right, so I do a lot of market prep around 8, so please try to get there around 8. But if you can't make it, it's okay. Still show up. Like to see you there. Thanks, Aman. All right, Aman managed to go positive for the week. I love it. Way to go. All right, Jim managed the daily goal. Love it. Awesome. All right, let's take a look at price action. All right, see what we got here. So today is the BYOB Market Wrap Up. I am the lead instructor for BYOB. That's a nice consolidation right there. Okay, really nice consolidation on the 2-minute. That's probably going to pop. And I'm just curious what those contracts are at now. And it's the same ones. See how high they get. Yeah, they never got back up there to where I was. All right, so that's fine. I made the right move. All right, so let's take a spy on the 10-minute chart. You can see we got a 10-minute uptrend going into the close. All right, that's bullish for next week. 2-hour, we got 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. All right, on the daily chart, we're still in a daily downtrend. Okay, because we made If we take out that high, we'll be in an uptrend right there. All right, we could possibly get in an uptrend taking out that high. Price action, you can see right here. Here's a low. We made a lower low, so we're still in a daily downtrend. On the quad lines, all right, I'm going to zoom way out. Well, I'm going to move this up. All right, on the quad lines. Okay, so price action is no longer in quadrant 4, no longer in the lower third. So this is neutral. All right, you go down, you give it up. That's neutral. Same thing as if you go up, you give it up. That's neutral. All right, so if you're in the lower third, that's bearish. If you're in the upper third, that's bullish. All right, right now we're in the middle. All right, there's the midpoint of those dashed lines there. If you wonder what that pink line is, it looks like a moving average. That is the all-time high anchored VWAP. This pink line right here is the 2025 low anchored VWAP. All right, so there's price action for SPY on the daily chart. We are still in a downtrend. Remember, it's just a label. All right, currently we are in the neutral zone, but we're on the bearish side of the neutral zone. All right, so there's price action. For today's price action, you can see got a higher low and a higher high, closed over a bearish trap and under the falling 17. That's the red dots right there. Let's take a look at the game plan. All right, if you guys follow the game plan, I post it almost every day. So here's the game plan for today. Let me move this over. All right, let's go take a look at the game plan. Okay, so today was the 11th. This would be the 11th. Price action below 519.20 would be a red erases green entry. Never triggered. On the green entry, green erases red entry. We actually had one up over the base right here. Okay, up over 530.09. That was a green erases red. We consolidated with a breakout right there. So that was a green erases red, but I had it up just a little bit higher up here. I don't know why. 533.70 was the green erases red. Now, I like 7 days till expiration options, 14 days till expiration options. I like $10 to $20 out of the money. But the 10-day ATR is like $28, so that's probably going to move from $20 to $30 out of the money options. Only because, I don't want them too expensive. If you got a new account, you can't participate. All right. I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. I especially like them when they're peeling away from the VWAP line. So the VWAP line is this brown line right through here. And you can see we have price and the 3 up over the 8, all up over the 17, which is the red dots. And it's up over, see the brown line right here? It's up over the brown line. So that is a 10-minute uptrend that we were trading all day today, well, ever since 11:30, okay, all the way up to where we are today, which was a high of 535. All right, so there's price action for the SPY. We like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP right there. If you want to know where to get in, you could got in right here on top of these wicks if you wanted to, or on top of these wicks if you wanted to. All right, you could have waited for green to take out a red candle in that 10-minute trend around this candle right here. You could have got in if you wanted to. Another green takes out red. Here's a red pullback. Green takes out red. Could have got in here if you wanted to. Okay, so there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. Nice 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. All right, let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ, same deal, same options, all right? QQQ for 48.50 is my pivot. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Same with SPY. Above my pivot, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. If you want to go back and look at SPY pivot, and you can see right here, above the pivot, I'm a bull. Below the pivot, I'm a bear. So you can see price action, 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. All right, it consolidated bullishly right there, so I liked it. Traded the uptrend up over VWAP. All right, back to QQQ. All right, QQQ pivot for 48.50. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. All right. You can see you got a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. Another playable event you could have done at the same time you were trading SPY to the upside. So this is the game plan for QQQ. Also posted, all right, in the room for everyone to participate. Okay, we had the red erases green event underneath 441.80. We never got there. We have the green erases red event up over 480. 456.10, we never got there. But what we did get was a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, which you could have participated in right there. So there's QQQ. Check out QQQ on the daily time frame. Just like SPY, I think it got a higher high. We'll see. Just a second. High is 455.59. High is 455.79. Higher low, higher high, closing over bullish trap under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, no longer in the lower third. This is neutral. You go down, you give it up, that's neutral. So there's QQQ. Let's take a look at FNGA. FNGA, price action for, let me try a clean chart. All right, clean chart, and then I can just put that in there. All right, for FNGA, price action, and I got to squint to see this. I got to say that looks like a lower high. It's an inside day on FNGA. It's lower high, higher low, closing over a bearish trap, but under the red dots. That's the falling 17 EMA. Under the all-time high anchored VWAP, under the midpoint in the lower third, quadrant 4, okay, that's going to be bearish down there. All right, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4, okay, bearish, FNGA. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow is no longer in the lower third, so that's neutral, but still in a downtrend, all right, because it made a lower low, just like all the others. All are still in a downtrend. Higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, under the red dots, the falling 17 EMA, under pink line, all-time high anchored VWAP, under the midpoint, under, see this gold line, it's the uptrend line. So down here, not in the lower third, so that's neutral. Let's take a look at IWM, that's a Russell 2000. Price action is another inside day, lower high, higher low, closing inside a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under, see this, all-time high anchored VWAP, under that, quadrant 4, that's bearish. So still got quite a few indices still bearish here, all right, even though we have a lot of hope, but it's not happening yet, all right. There's an uptrend line, price action is underneath it. Take a look at T2122. And for price action, at least we're not in the oversold zone like we were a few days ago. Okay, so we produced a little higher low. This was the previous day's low, produced a higher low, and we produced a higher high. Well, not quite. A higher high than what we got left off with over here. So there's price action producing a higher low. There's a high there, so we made, yeah, we did make a higher high there, and we made a higher high here. So we squeaked out a higher high. On the little time frame, you can see a little higher lows and higher highs, higher lows, higher highs right there. Ending the day inside the buyer's chop zone, all right, T2122. T2123, this is a flat line. This thing looks dead. All right, I don't know if what they're doing with it, but this thing looks dead right here. Price action for today, 11, all right? A little red green, more red green, more red green, okay? So definitely not getting any higher highs. All right, it's a mini bull flag right there. See that? Mini bull flag, all right? That's not moving up. Inside of, well, a bear flag. All right, so one of these is going to determine the future. Right now, it looks like they're repositioning the T2122. Right there, that looks like a flat line. Caught underneath this falling 200 SMA. That's bearish. Still in a bear flag, not making any higher highs. So that is bearish as well. They had one bearish gap down. You can see it right here. All right. And they filled that. That part's bullish. So on the smaller time frame, we got a little mini bull flag inside of a big bear flag right here. All right. There's T2123. Nothing bullish happening there yet other than this extended. Look at the fabric on the flag is longer than the flagpole. Okay. So it's way overdue. This thing is cooked. It's time to break out if it's going to break out bullishly. If not, I think we break down. We'll see what happens. So there's T2123, 15-minute chart. Maybe this is a bottom. We'll find out in the future. T2123, same thing on the 3-bar chart. You can see 3 more red candle bars, flat line down here, still in a bear flag, caught underneath the fading 200 and underneath 3 prior all-time high anchored, 3 prior all-time highs. That's these green lines right here. FNGA, price action for FNGA. Found the uptrend line, all right, right here, and almost bullied all day. A little red, green, red, green, red, green, and a lot of buying into the end of the day. I got to tell you, that's promising. You can see price melting up. That looks bullish for next week. T2123, not so much. FNGA, yeah, that looks really good. Hanging on to that uptrend line. The only thing I don't like is it's sucked up close to it, okay? It's almost like they're just waiting for an opening to go down, all right? But price is over. The falling 200, that's good news over the uptrend line. And here's the midpoint of the pullback. Let's just measure this off. All right, we're up in the upper third of this rally. That is bullish. Maybe we see a higher high or a test of those prior highs up there. Price action is making higher lows and definitely taking its sweet time to make the next higher high. Okay, so we got a higher low here, and then we got the higher high. We got a higher low here, and we're taking our time to make the next higher high. I guess they're going to make us wait. All right, so there's FNGA. All right, we follow FNGA because it's got 10 of the most weighted securities in the QQQ and the SPY. All right, so we follow that quite often. So that's FNGA. Let's take a look at a few sectors. First sector we'll look at is XLE. And XLE puts in an inside day down in quadrant 4. That's bearish. Under closing inside a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. So that's bearish down there, and in a downtrend. There's a low, made a lower low, so that's a downtrend. All right, so that's XLE. Let's take a look at USO. USO put in a higher low and a higher high, closing in a bearish trap, still in the lower third. That's bearish. Making, here's a low, made a lower low, so that's in a downtrend and in bearish territory down there, USO. Underneath the all-time high anchored, underneath this 3-year high anchored VWAP right there. That is the post-COVID high. Let's take a look at UNG, high flyer UNG. UNG got a lower high and a lower low, closing under a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under the uptrend line, over the 12-month high anchored VWAP right here. At the midpoint, see the quad lines, that's the midpoint, so it's just neutral. Again, you move up, give it up, that's neutral. Same thing as if you move down and give it up, that's neutral. Let's take a look at GLD. So GLD, guess what? Makes a new all-time high today. I got targets of 315.66 for GLD. All right, so there's GLD, new all-time high. So there's on the daily chart there. Definitely bullish. All right, SLV. SLV, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish cross, over the falling 17, over this 6-month high anchored VWAP, also doubles as a 12-year high anchored VWAP. And you can see price action up over that VWAP, trying to knock on the door of the upper third. They almost got it, almost. I'm not going to give it to them. They're going to have to work a little bit harder. All right, so there's SLV on the daily chart. Hey, still in a downtrend because here's a low. Yeah, they made a lower low. All right, so price action in a downtrend, knocking on the door of the bullish area. All right, and you can see price action just neutral right here. Let's take a look at SMH. All right, SMH still in the lower third, so that's bearish. Price action is... I'm just going to call it an inside day, closing over a bullish cross, but underneath the falling 17, underneath this all-time high anchored VWAP. Price action is still bearish, still in a downtrend. Okay, here's a low, and they put in a lower low, so they're still in a downtrend. Let's take a look at XLK. Okay, XLK, I'm going to give it to them. All right, no longer in the lower third. That's neutral. Closing over a bullish cross, but under the falling 17, under this all-time high anchored VWAP, that's the pink line, under this uptrend line right there. All right, so it's neutral, no longer in the lower third. You go down, you give it up, that's neutral. That's XLK. Let's take a look at XLF. We had some banks report this morning. All right, XLF got a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bearish trap, under the falling 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, right at the midpoint. That's neutral. Again, you go down, give it up, that's neutral. Let's take a look at IYT. IYT got an inside day, closing inside a bearish trap, underneath the falling 17, underneath all-time high anchored VWAP. Way down here in quadrant 4, that's bearish IYT. All right. Sorry I missed T21.22. How does that look? Can I bring it up again? Yes. Kind of wedging to the upside right now, Mel. All right, little micro higher highs here. So they're just, looks to me like they're grinding away at overhead supply. All right, so T21.23 looks like a patient that's unconscious. All right? If you did an EKG on this, it would be a flat line right there. All right? T21.23. All right, so that's it for me for today, traders. Hope you all made profits. All right? I'll see you guys on Monday. Monday's open house. Don't forget, I will put the registration in the link. Tell your friends how great it is over here at the BYOB Trading Room. He gives us a game plan. He tells us about the 10-minute uptrend. If we want to take it, we can. We don't have to take it. We can do whatever we want, right? Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Fred. Thanks, Mel, Alan, Brad, Jim. All right, Aman, Lorene, everybody. Thank you so much. Wishing you all a wonderful weekend. Probably nothing but paperwork and taxes for me. All right, so I feel sorry for all of us. All right, I feel sorry for all of us that have to go through it. Thanks, Raleigh. Thank you. All right, see you guys on Monday. Big open house day. All right, thank you. Have a wonderful evening.